Hey everyone, in this Aliens Dark Descent chapters list I want to give you an idea of the number of chapters in the game, what they're called so you can figure out where you are. The game does have a campaign death clock, so if you don't get all the way to the end by the time the death clock runs out, it's game over, man, game over. They're hopefully fixing that in a patch that you'll be able to turn that off if you want, but if you like a challenge, the death clock is certainly that. Even on normal, I found it very, very challenging. So to give you an idea of where you should be in the campaign, there are 13 chapters that you need to complete, including the prologue. Okay, so I'm going to give you the list of those now and then show you where they are on the map and give you a rough idea of how long each one is. So the first one is the prologue, then we go on to Dead Hills, Berkley's Docks, Harper's Hell, Otago's Last Stand, Nuclear Protocol, Atmospheric Nightmare, the Montero, Extraction, Facing the Beast, the Pryce of Deception, the Olduvai Dig site, and Redemption. So they are your 13 chapters, so that hopefully gives you an idea of where you're at. The trouble with the game that I find is that the mission area here isn't very clear where on earth you are, and it's hard to figure out what's going on really. I wish they'd put a clearer mission list. The other thing is your achievements show the chapters that the missions from Dead Hills all the way up to Redemption as mission 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 12, and the prologue is an extra one, so it's, of those 13 chapters, there's only 12 missions, if that makes sense. So let's give you some idea on some of those chapters or missions, how long they are going to take you. So Dead Hills, there are 14 primary objectives that you really need to go through to progress to the next level, or mission. You've then got 19 data pads which are optional, 300 materials which are optional, as is the Xenotech. However, what I would suggest is you really need to be focusing on those materials to help you level up your squad's gear as you go through the game. So materials is very, very important. So we then go over to the next one, which is Berkley's Docks, which is this one here. 6 primary objectives, 5 secondary objectives, 11 data pads, 160 materials, and 1 Xenotech. So again, quite a bit of stuff here. So each of these missions can take anything from half an hour up to hours, depending on how thorough you want to be inside them. One of the things to bear in mind is you do not earn XP just from defeating little alien drones. You have to be completing objectives to do that, or defeating bosses, or doing special events in the game. So just bear that in mind if you're after XP. It's no point just keep revisiting these places because your XP gain will be minimal. After that, we then move on to Harper's Hell, which is over at the refinery. So there's Harper's Hell, 7 primary objectives, 1 secondary objective, 12 data pads, 210 materials to collect. So again, can take quite a while to do this. You've then got Otago's Last Stand, which is one around the Otago, so it's not on the map here. So I can't really tell you much about that. Again, I think that took, I can't remember to be honest, half an hour to an hour, something like that. We've then got the Nuclear Protocol over on Pioneer Station, which is over here. 5 primary objectives, 2 secondary objectives, 17 data pads, 120 materials. You can see I collected 190 amazingly, and 1 Xenotech. So that's that one. We've then got Atmospheric Nightmare, which is a fun map with a cool atmospheric processor. 4 primary objectives, 6 secondary objectives, 22 data pads, 300 materials, and 2 Xenotech to collect there. We then go to the Montero, which is back over at Berkley's Docks. So if I hit X there to have a little look at that, 2 primary objectives, 2 secondary objectives, 10 data pads, 220 materials, which bizarrely I somehow haven't collected yet. I don't know how. And 1 Xenotech, which I've also missed. So don't know what I did there, but never mind. The next one is Extraction, which I'm just trying to think whether that is, yeah, there you go, Talus Research Station, 6 primary objectives, 5 data pads, 150 materials, and 2 Xenotech. So that's that one. And then we have Facing the Beast, which I think is back on the Otago, so can't talk to you about that one. Can talk to you about the Pryce of Deception, though. 11 primary objectives, 3 secondary objectives, 14 data pads, 220 materials, 1 Xenotech. So you can see that there. And then we've got the Odavi Dig site, which is the over back at the refinery, and there it is there. So 4 primary objectives, 1 secondary objective, 8 data pads, and 100 materials. That is really my big next push in this particular playthrough there. After you complete that, you then go to the final mission, which is Redemption. I'm trying to remember, but I don't think there's a break between them. I don't think you come back to the Otago, you just crack on into that. But by this time you really need to be sitting with a few days to spare, or at least a day to spare, so you don't get bombarded with the death clock. So just bear that in mind as you go through. So there you go, that's the Alien Start Descent mission list. I hope that was of use to you. If it was, give us a thumbs up please, that's much appreciated. If you've got any thoughts on it, drop me a comment. I'll put a playlist at the end of here with other Alien Start Descent tutorials, which hopefully helps you out. If you like what you see, have a little look around the rest of my channel. I'm always producing new content, and if it's of use to you, do hit that subscribe button and you'll be kept up to date with my latest videos. Thanks so much for the support.